Hello, everybody. Welcome to this recording. This is one of these very rare recordings that I will be doing with a GA aircraft, but at some point you have to start, right? So I will introduce us to the aircraft we have today and where we are. We are actually in Corfu in Greece, and this is Kekiri Ionis Kapodistrias Airport. And the aircraft we'll be using is Beechcraft 58. It's one of those classic light twin aircrafts that was introduced in the early 60s, and it can seat about 6 passengers, and it has a maximum gross weight of 5,500 pounds. It can take up to 142 gallons of fuel, which is about 500 and maybe 30 liters of fuel, and it has a maximum range of 1500 nautical miles, which is about 3000 kilometers, and it can cruise at speeds of up to 220 knots. The engines on this one are Talidin Continental motors, which are IO 550Cs, and they can produce up to 300 horsepower, and we have about 7,000 feet of cruise ceiling, and today we'll be flying to about 5,000 feet, somewhere between 4,000 feet and 5,000 feet. One other very important detail about the aircraft, if it matters, the propellers are actually three-bladed Mac-Curley constant speed propellers, and they can provide variable pitch if required. So without much further ado, we'll be taxiing towards the runway. We'll be taking off from runway 17. Runway 17 has a heading of 165 degrees, and we will take off, level off at about 2,000 feet. Make a left turn towards heading of 170, going all the way up into 200, and then we will continue from there. Survey the scenery, just taking the moment and enjoy the little time we have on this GA flight. So yeah, I'll release our parking brakes and we should be on our way. Before anything, I'll try to set up the heading. So our heading will be let's see here, try to go up for 165. All right, so it should be right there, 165. And let's look at I'll just put 2,000 as our altitude, and if we have to use the autopilot, I think we already have that, since that's part of our before takeoff briefing. Okay, so parking brakes released. I'll set my flaps for takeoff configuration, and we could push the aircraft through that taxi line into the runway. All right, we got some forward movement. So for any of you who has been to Corfu in real life or not, this is a really beautiful part of Greece. So I'll just try to enjoy it as much as I can on this recording. So I usually don't have to do a lot of these flights in GA aircraft, so I try to get as much out of any of them when I do them as possible. Alright, so let's take a quick look at our instruments. Everything looks normal. And yeah, we can concentrate on lining up, and we should be taking off very shortly. All right, let's do this. All right, takeoff thrust is going up. Takeoff thrust set. We're waiting for 100 knots, and then we will start gently pulling back on the stick, and we should have our takeoff, our climb already at that point. We're at 80 knots, 90. Gently getting to 100. Start pulling back gently, and there we go. We have takeoff. What's the rate of climb? Gear up. Alright, I can keep that pitch. I want to maintain about 100 knots while we are doing this climb, and at this point I will clean up the aircraft, retract the flaps, and our speed will be increasing. I could reduce the thrust, and I can make that left turn right now. So we'll try our best to stay below 118 knots. We're at 120 right now. Just try to make sure that no matter what we're doing, we stay below 180. I'm not very used to these aircraft, so I have to make sure that I keep everything within the margins of my control, I guess. Alright, so that's a little look at the area. Yes, right there you have those shaders. Well, thank you for going away. And yeah, we can continue. I'll do a little low pass, so I'll reduce my thrust a little bit. So if I pitch down a little bit too, we don't pick up too much speed in combination to the thrust we already have. So this is the area. You can enjoy the view. So one of the reasons to stay at 2000 also, if you look carefully a little bit over the propellers, you see there's a mast. That mast is actually going up all the way to about maybe 500 feet. So you always want to stay a little bit high there. So our speed is really nice. We could level off. We have level off at actually we're climbing a little bit there, but yeah, we're leveled off. Then we could, you know, just enjoy the area. One of the reasons why I practice, you know, on GAs is just to have, you know, that constant control over the aircraft. With the very big aircraft, you have so much automation, fly-by-wire, and all those fancy things. It really keeps you doing things a little differently. Our speed is really good. Like I said, we don't want to go over 180 knots, and we want to stay between 120 and 180, which is really good for just, you know, our manual controls. So when I was doing the the pre-flight stuff, which took basically less than 5 minutes, I had to put in account my weight, so just one passenger, and because by default it has the weight of 6 passengers, with taking into consideration each passenger is 170 pounds. So I I had to just erase the other 5 and just leave it to be at 1 passenger, which is just the pilot. I know at this point a lot of people will be wishing, you know, they had external views to the flight. Well, I really don't do a lot of external views on most of my flights. I just feel like if you're flying, well, you want to do it, you know, as close to reality as possible. So, you know, you just try to stick to your views from your vantage point, I guess, which is the captain seat. So our speed is looking good, and we could continue just looking at the area. Everything looks great. Now, if anybody's looking at this, don't think we're trying to land. No, we are not. We're trying to do a quick low pass. You can see that's the cruise ship right there. Looking good. Our speed is approaching 150, which is good. We are well around the margins. I'll reduce the thrust a little bit since I'll be pitching down. Take a look at the area. Okay, so in preparation to land, I will go ahead and turn on the autopilot, and I will hold our speed. So the aircraft levels off by itself there, and I'll try to set the I'll try to just set the heading, you know, to be straight ahead one we have right now. So right there, head and hold, and we should look at the approach chart for this runway. Actually, basically, I'll just do it manually. No instrument aid in any way in terms of the approach. Alright, so it's about time we could disengage the autopilot, have control of the aircraft, and we will turn to the right, try to put in some thrust, pitch the nose down a little bit so we can pick up some speed. If you look at our speed indicator, we are steadily going up to 220 knots. All right, looks good. set configuring ourselves for that final approach. I'll turn in my flaps and I'll start my turn. The thrust is looking good, everything is looking good and stable. We'll continue on descending, nice and easy. Descending towards runway 35, and once we land, we will use the turning pad and then taxi down the runway all the way to the parking. All right, so we overshot a little bit there on the turn. Got to pay attention there. Full flaps, gear down, and our thrust is going down too. So want to touch down at about 100 knots. We have one red on the puppy lights. It's looking good. We can line up there. 2 reds, 2 whites. That is where we want to be. And we continue nice and easy. So we got 3 reds, no big deal. 4 reds, not too good. Okay, continue the adjustment. Coming in too fast. There we go. We could float, 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 line up, and there you go. It's a little hard. Want to brake. Didn't get that center line, you know. That's why it takes a lot of practice. But yeah. Retract those flaps, and we should exit the runway to the right here. And this should be nice and easy all the way to the parking, and that should be it for this video. I know it's not the best flying technique and all that stuff, but I'm really rusty, and it's not a tutorial or anything like that. I just wanted to upload something, you know, to get me back in the swing of things, and to start preparing to upload actually the aircraft that I fly the most, which is the 777 family and the 737 800 NGX. So I will line up with the taxi line right here and just taxi straight ahead and bring the aircraft to a complete stop. Alright, just come to a complete stop. Alright, looking good. Parking brake set, and that is it, guys. That is it. Thank you once again for watching. Actually, big shout out to all the guys on the West African Virtual Aviation Group. That's one of those kind of groups you always want to be part of, and I feel really privileged and honored to be part of that group. Our group has a lot of real life pilots, enthusiasts like myself. You have other people who are involved in the flight industry as dispatchers and, you know, personnel that work at airfields and airports. But yeah, it's really a privilege to be part of that group, and I'll be looking forward to more content and more videos from my side of things and from the side of the other members of the group. Well, in the meantime, enjoy your weekend, and hope to do more good flights, and we'll see you next time. Bye.